What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, daily news, what's going on in the United States, Washington, D.C., money, investing, and the $3.5 trillion next stimulus package. We have major news coming directly from President Biden with major new restrictions, announcements, and, well, lots of major news from President Biden himself. We're going to go directly to President Biden. We're going to discuss this. This is information and new restrictions that will affect over 100 million Americans. And in some cases, it will affect almost the entire country going forward. Yes, there's a lot changing here in the United States based on this new announcement, this new restrictions, and this coming directly from the president. Also, some major new presidential executive orders that President Biden will be announcing in this video. So make sure to watch this video all the way to the end because this is some major news. If you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe down below if you haven't yet so you don't miss out on new updates. Without further ado, let's jump right in. Here is President Biden with this new information.
Good evening, my fellow Americans. I want to talk to you about where we are in the battle against COVID-19, the progress we've made, and the work we have left to do. And it starts with understanding this. Even as the Delta variant COVID-19 has been hitting this country hard, we have the tools to combat the virus if we can come together as a country and use those tools. If we raise our vaccination rate, protect ourselves and others with masking, expanded testing, and identify people who are infected, we can and we will turn the tide on COVID-19. It'll take a lot of hard work. It's going to take some time. Many of us are frustrated with the nearly 80 million Americans who are still not vaccinated, even though the vaccine is safe, effective, and free. You might be confused about what is true and what is false about COVID-19. So before I outline the new steps to fight COVID-19 that I'm going to be announcing tonight, let me give you some clear information about where we stand. First, we've made considerable progress in battling COVID-19. When I became president, about 2 million Americans were fully vaccinated. Today, over 175 million Americans have that protection. Before I took office, we hadn't ordered enough vaccine for every American. Just weeks in office, we did. The week before I took office on January 20th of this year, over 25,000 Americans died that week from COVID-19. Last week, that grim weekly toll was down 70%. And then 3 months before I took office, our economy was faltering, creating just 50,000 jobs a month. We're now averaging 700,000 new jobs a month in the past 3 months. This progress is real. But while America is much in better shape than it was 7 months ago when I took office, I need to tell you a second fact. We're in the tough stretch, and it could last for a while. Highly contagious Delta variant that I began to warn America about back in July spread late summer like it did in other countries before us. While the vaccines provide strong protection for the vaccinated, we read about and hear about and we see the stories of hospitalized people on their deathbeds among the unvaccinated over the past few weeks. This is a pandemic of the unvaccinated. And it's caused by the fact that despite America having unprecedented and successful vaccination program, despite the fact that for almost 5 months, free vaccines have been available in 80,000 different locations, we still have nearly 80 million Americans who have failed to get the shot. And to make matters worse, there are elected officials actively working to undermine the fight against COVID-19. Instead of encouraging people to get vaccinated and mask up, they're ordering mobile morgues for the unvaccinated dying from COVID in their communities. This is totally unacceptable. Third, If you wonder how all this adds up, here's the math. The vast majority of Americans are doing the right thing. Nearly 3/4 of the eligible have gotten at least one shot, but 1/4 has not gotten any. That's nearly 80 million Americans not vaccinated. And a country as large as ours, that's 25% minority. That 25% can cause a lot of damage, and they are. The unvaccinated overcrowd our hospitals, are overrunning emergency rooms and intensive care units, leaving no room for someone with a heart attack or pancreatitis or cancer. And fourth, I want to emphasize that the vaccines provide very strong protection from severe illness from COVID-19. I know there's a lot of confusion and misinformation, but the world's leading scientists confirm that if you are fully vaccinated, your risk of severe illness from COVID-19 is very low. In fact, based on available data from the summer, only 1 out of every 160,000 fully vaccinated Americans was hospitalized for COVID per day. These are the facts. So here's where we stand. The path ahead, even with the Delta variant, is not nearly as bad as last winter. But what makes it incredibly more frustrating is that we have the tools to combat COVID-19, and a distinct minority of Americans, supported by a distinct minority of elected officials, are keeping us from turning the corner. These pandemic politics, as I refer to, are making people sick, causing unvaccinated people to die. We cannot allow these actions to stand in the way of protecting the large majority of Americans who have done their part and want to get back to life as normal. As your president, I'm announcing tonight a new plan to require more Americans to be vaccinated to combat those blocking public health. My plan also increases testing, protects our economy, and will make our kids safer in schools. It consists of 6 broad areas of action and many specific measures in each of those actions you can read more about in whitehouse.gov. Whitehouse.gov. The measures, these are going to take time to have full impact. But if we implement them, I believe, and the scientists indicate, that the months ahead we can reduce the number of unvaccinated Americans, decrease hospitalizations and deaths, and allow our children to go to school safely and keep our economy strong by keeping businesses open. First, we must increase vaccinations among the unvaccinated with new vaccination requirements. Of the nearly 80 million eligible Americans who have not gotten vaccinated, many said they were waiting for approval from the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA. Well, last month, the FDA granted that approval. So, the time for waiting is over. This summer, we made progress through the combination of vaccine requirements and incentives, as well as the FDA approval. 4 million more people got their first shot in August than they did in July. But we need to do more. This is not about freedom or personal choice. It's about protecting yourself and those around you, the people you work with, the people you care about, the people you love. My job as president is to protect all Americans. So tonight, I'm announcing that the Department of Labor is developing an emergency rule to require all employers with 100 or more employees that together employ over 80 million workers to ensure their workforces are fully vaccinated or show a negative test at least once a week. Some of the biggest companies are already requiring this: United Airlines, Disney, Tyson's Food, and even Fox News.
Yeah, so President Biden, as you just heard there, announces a potential vaccine requirements. We'll have to see exactly how this comes out when we get the actual wording of the document for companies with more than 100 employees. The move could affect as many as 100 million Americans, which is, I believe it's around 2/3 of um, all the workforce in the entire country. Yeah. So you just heard it directly from the country, and you heard him say that a lot of large companies, including Fox News, which is ironic that he mentions that. That's a Republican news station. This is a Fox News website I'm showing right here that Fox News requires their employees to be vaccinated as well. Yeah. So this is not just for federal employees, but this is going to be potentially for regular everyday Americans that work at companies with over 100 employees, depending on how the wording of the document comes out. We will have to see.
We're going to protect vaccinated workers from unvaccinated coworkers. We're going to reduce the spread of COVID-19 by increasing the share of the workforce that is vaccinated in businesses all across America. My plan will extend the vaccination requirements that I previously issued in the healthcare field. Already, I've announced we'll be requiring vaccinations of all nursing home workers who treat patients on Medicare and Medicaid because I have that federal authority. Tonight, I'm using that same authority to expand that to cover those who work in hospitals, home health care facilities, or other medical facilities, a total of 17 million healthcare workers. If you're seeking care at a health facility, you should be able to know that the people treating you are vaccinated. Simple, straightforward, period. Next, I will sign an executive order that will now require all executive branch federal employees to be vaccinated, all. And I've signed another executive order that will require federal contractors to do the same. If you want to work with the federal government and do business with us, get vaccinated. If you want to do business with the federal government, vaccinate your workforce. And tonight, I'm removing one of the last remaining obstacles that make it difficult for you to get vaccinated. The Department of Labor will require employers with 100 or more workers to give those workers paid time off to get vaccinated. No one should lose pay in order to get vaccinated or take a loved one to get vaccinated. Today, in total, the vaccine requirements in my plan will affect about 100 million Americans, 2/3 of all workers. And for other sectors, I issue this appeal to those of you running large entertainment venues, from sports arenas to concert venues to movie theaters. Please require folks to get vaccinated or show a negative test as a condition of entry. And to the nation's family physicians, pediatricians, GPs, general practitioners, you're the most trusted medical voice to your patients. You may be the one person who can get someone to change their mind about being vaccinated. Tonight, I'm asking each of you to reach out to your unvaccinated patients over the next 2 weeks and make a personal appeal to them to get the shot. America needs your personal involvement in this critical effort. My message to unvaccinated Americans is this: what more is there to wait for? What more do you need to see? We've made vaccinations free, safe, and convenient. The vaccine has FDA approval. Over 200 million Americans have gotten at least one shot. We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin, and your refusal has cost all of us. So please do the right thing. But just don't take it from me. Listen to the voices of unvaccinated Americans who are lying in hospital beds, taking their final breath saying, if only I'd gotten vaccinated. If only. It's a tragedy. Please don't let it become yours. The second piece of my plan is continuing to protect the vaccinated. For the vast majority of you who have gotten vaccinated, I understand your anger at those who haven't gotten vaccinated. I understand the anxiety about getting a breakthrough case. But as the science makes clear, if you're fully vaccinated, you're highly protected from severe illness, even if you get COVID-19. In fact, recent data indicates there is only one confirmed positive case per 5,000 fully vaccinated Americans per day. You're as safe as possible, and we're doing everything we can to keep it that way. Keep it that way. Keep you safe. That's where boosters come in. The shots that give you even more protection than after your second shot. Now, I know there's been some confusion about boosters, so let me be clear. Last month, our top government doctors announced an initial plan for booster shots for vaccinated Americans. They believe that the booster is likely to provide the highest level of protection yet. Of course, the decision of which booster shots to give, when to start them, and who will give them will be left completely to the scientists at the FDA and the Centers for Disease Control. But while we wait, we've done our part. We bought enough booster shots, and the distribution system is ready to administer them. As soon as they are authorized, those eligible will be able to get a booster right away in tens of thousands of sites across the country for most Americans, at your nearby drugstore, and for free. The third piece of my plan is keeping, and maybe the most important, is keeping our children safe and our schools open. For any parent, it doesn't matter how low the risk of any illness or accident is when it comes to your child or grandchild. Trust me, I know. So, let me speak to you directly. Let me speak to you directly to help ease some of your worries. It comes down to two separate categories. Children ages 12 and older who are eligible for a vaccine now, and children ages 11 and under who are not yet eligible. The safest thing for your child 12 and older is to get them vaccinated. They get vaccinated for a lot of things. That's it, get them vaccinated. As with adults, almost all the serious COVID-19 cases we're seeing among adolescents are in unvaccinated 12 to 17-year-olds, an age group that lags behind in vaccination rates.
So President Biden has several different things regarding these new mandates, new requirements, and these new plans that he's going to be rolling out here. So I'll go through them and see what comes out here over the next coming hours and the next coming days, and I'll keep you into the loop. Regarding the next stimulus package, Senator Joe Manchin lays out a long list of demands. Can you believe this guy? As a key Senate chairman's move to win his vote. Senator Joe Manchin, apparently the Democrats have to win his vote over. Yeah. Joe Manchin is making it clear he won't cave on aggressive climate provisions sought by many Democrats. Remember that this next stimulus package has a lot of different things in there. It's a huge, big package. It's not just stimulus. There's climate provisions in there to save the planet. Throwing a wrench in the party's efforts to make a bill key to combating global warming. So apparently Joe Manchin is against global warming. I don't know. With Democrats needing every vote in their caucus to get the bill through the Senate along with straight party lines, Manchin has received more attention than any other Democrat, even as others like Arizona Senator Kyrsten Sinema has also balked at the $3.5 trillion price tag. Joe Manchin and his staff has been in consistent talks with Senate Finance Chairman Ron Wyden of Oregon, who has been very influential in the past in all three of the last stimulus checks. A committee where two powerful Democrats have clashed over several key provisions central to financing the proposal. Remember, this next stimulus package and the infrastructure package are paid for, including corporate tax hikes, according to multiple sources familiar with the matter. Biden has had weekly Zoom meetings with his committee members on individual areas of the proposal, but has made sure to have regular talks with Joe Manchin, either directly with him or through his staff. On education, Joe Manchin is trying to limit the Democrats' effort to provide free universal kindergarten and to limit tuition free community college. Apparently, he doesn't want kids to go to kindergarten for free or to limit free college. Can you believe this guy? He's talking to Democrats about limiting the number of Americans eligible for free pre K, free kindergarten, by setting income thresholds. But I do believe they were going to have income thresholds for that anyways, just like there were going to be income thresholds for community college, while also discussing ways to measure student performance for community college, assuming their tuition is paid for over the 2 years. And on healthcare, Manchin has suggested substantially reducing funding for home care services, a key priority for Democrats. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says we're moving full steam ahead, rejecting Joe Manchin's must publicize call last week, calling for a strategic pause in consideration of the bill. The House of Representative Democrats are doing the exact same thing, basically moving forward without Joe Manchin, as the bill is in the House of Representatives right now. So both the House and Senate Democrats have basically said they're moving forward without Joe Manchin while they basically try to negotiate with him. President Joe Biden himself has said he will be meeting with Joe Manchin to try to talk with him personally one-on-one, as I don't think the whole entire Democratic Party is going to stop an entire package for one person. Although at some point they will have to negotiate with him, grease his palms, slide him some Benjamins under the table, do something to get him to agree to the bill. He did do the exact same thing along with Kirsten Sinema as well and some moderate Democrats from the House. They did the same thing with the third stimulus check package, and ultimately they voted yes. And they all did vote yes on the motions to proceed for both the physical infrastructure package and the $3.5 trillion stimulus package in the House and the Senate. But when it comes down to the final vote, well, that might be a different story. So I will keep you up to date with everything. Let me know your thoughts on everything going down with President Biden's new restrictions and mandates. And we're going to be getting a lot more details on that here over the next 24 to 48 hours. And really, as private businesses kind of make these vaccines mandatory, it's going to be very, very controversial for some people that don't want to take the vaccine. So there are apparently 80 million people that don't want to take the vaccine. There's almost 75% of the United States is vaccinated for people that are eligible, which is basically people that are age 12 and older, adults age 12 and older. Almost 75% of the United States is vaccinated of that age group. Obviously, if you're 12 and under, you can't get the vaccine at this point. But that is still almost 80 million people that aren't vaccinated. So the government's getting tough. The government's trying to toughen up, and in some cases, trying to force people to get the vaccines. So yeah, it's going to be very controversial for people that don't want to get the vaccines. But as the president said, some people were waiting for the FDA approval, which did come down with the FDA approval for the Pfizer vaccine. And the Moderna vaccine should be coming with the full approval here sometime in the near future. So let me know your thoughts. I'll keep you up to date with everything going on in our country, in Washington, D.C., and with this next stimulus package. Make sure to subscribe down below. New videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video is how there could potentially be $2,800 worth of stimulus checks in the next stimulus package. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.